Let me show you how to do top-down analysis like a pro. So we'll be analyzing AUDUSD, and I'll show the entry that I took on this pair this week. So on the monthly, so when doing top-down analysis, we normally start from the higher time frame to get the direction and the structures. So on the monthly, we can just clearly see that the market is bullish. Okay, so and there's not much on the monthly. So let's go to the weekly. On the weekly, there's this zone I wanna mark here. There's this key level I want to mark around this zone here. So it's a psychological level. It's 21,000. So we can see that the market has been creating bullish structures where it has been breaking structures to the upside here, around breaking structures to the upside. So and around this zone, when approaching this psychological level around here, this psychological level acted as resistance, and it later broke to the upside. So when a resistance is broken, it normally turns into a support. And bear in mind, this is a psychological level, so normally price reacts heavily on psychological level. So on last week, we had this bearish candle around this psychological level. So this week I was expecting a bullish momentum. So on with the monthly and the weekly, all I just need to look is, since they are all telling me that the market is bullish, all I'm just looking for is taking buys. So let's go to the daily. On the daily time frame, let's mark our last break of structure to the upside. So this is the last break of structure to the upside. It was around this zone here. Let's see. Let's copy this. Copy, paste. So we can see that this was the last break of structure to the upside on the daily. So and after that, so this is the low that if the market takes it out, we will switch our bias from looking for buys to looking for sales. But as long as as long as price remains above this low, I'm only going to look for sales, for buys, sorry. So and you can see that we can see how Friday's candle closed with this doji candlestick rejecting this psychological level. You can see that it resisted around this zone around here, this zone. So at this zone it acted as support, and we can see that it also acted as resistance. So it's a very strong key zone, and you can see how this Friday's candle closed with an indecision candle. So on Monday I saw this structure being formed here. So we can see around this zone, this is where the market reacted from this psychological level, and it later gave me change of character. Sorry. So this is where I got that change of character. Let me copy this. Save. So I got this change of character around this zone, since I'm only looking for buys only. So after getting this change of character on the 4-hour, I lowered down to my 1 hour to look for any structures that market might retrace. Okay, so on the 1 hour I didn't see anything, but on the weekly, on the 15-minute, I saw these. Okay, after getting this 4-hour change of character around this zone, I was waiting for price to come and fill in this imbalance, because it had not completely rebalanced this imbalance around this zone. Okay, and around that imbalance we also had this order block. We had that order block around there. Okay, and we also have to mark structures on the 15th. So let's mark this structure here. So this is the last break of structure to the downside on the 15 minutes around that zone. So we can see that it was a candle close. You can see this is the last break of structure to the downside on 15 minutes when mitigating this 15-minute order block and taking out this liquidity below this low and filling in this imbalance, hence mitigating this 15-minute order block. So since that was the last break of structure to the downside on 15 minutes, I was just waited for change of character to the upside, because I normally use ICT for my entries. After I got that change of character there, so this is where market gave me this change of character to the upside around there. So I entered early. I entered on this 1 hour fair value gap. That's where I entered. Let me show you the trade I took. Let me switch on the trade history. There you can see I entered early. My stop loss was quite tight because I had taken a very heavy position around the zone, because I was sure the market will go to the upside. So I entered early around that zone. My stop was here. I was taken out. The market went to my TP because I was targeting this previous high. This was the zone which I was targeting. The market took me out, later plummeted to the upside to hit my take profit. So I entered early, but I could just have entered around this order block around here. But it was around 8 p.m. in the evening. So yeah, and normally AUDNZD normally leaves without mitigating these zones. So I entered early because of that, because of fear of being left tight stop loss around. I didn't see this. I had put my stop loss. I could have just placed the buy limit around this order block around here, then my stop below here. But because of greed and fear of being left out, I entered tight stop loss. I was taken out. So see you on the next one.